Hello, mathematicians! Today we are talking about probability of simple events. So the first word that we need to know is outcome. An outcome is one of the possible results of an action. So this could be flipping a coin. An outcome would be getting heads. Another outcome would be getting tails. So our second word is probability. This whole unit's going to be about probability, so this is a very important word to know. So probability is the chance of an event happening. And our equation for finding probability, we use this P to denote probability. So we say the probability of an event equals the number of ways outcomes can occur. So outcomes, remember that's one of our words, over the total number of possibilities. So, what exactly does probability tell us? So we have this little chart, and we can say if a probability is 0, it is impossible. There's no way this is going to happen. So if we have 0 or 0% for our probability, it is not happening. If we have 1, our probability equals 1 or 100%, this is definitely going to happen. There's no way it is not going to happen. And then in the middle, 0.5, 50%, that's half and half, right? So it's equally likely and unlikely that it's going to happen. It could happen, it could not happen. We're not really sure what's going to happen. Then if we go down to 0.25 or 25% for our probability outcome, this is really unlikely that it's going to happen. You know, if we have a 25% probability that something's going to happen, probably not going to happen. Now on the other hand, if we have 0.75 or 75% for our probability, this is pretty likely that it's going to happen. It's a good chance. So, our first example, we're going to find each probability. So number 1, we want to find the probability of rolling a 3 on a dice. So we're going to think about a dice. How many sides does a dice have? 6. So that is going to be our total number of possibilities. So we're going to start with our fraction, because remember we have our equation, the probability of an event. We have a fraction. So on the bottom we have our total number of possibilities. So we just said our total number of possibilities is 6. So we could have a dice and we could roll any of the 6 sides. And now we want to find the probability of rolling a 3. So we're going to think about our dice, and it has 6 sides. How many of those sides have a 3 on them? Just 1. So when we think of the number of ways our outcome can occur, we just have one side that could be a 3. So on top we just put a 1. So our probability is 1 over 6. So go ahead and plug that in your calculator to find what it is as a percent. Remember, we just want 2 numbers after the decimal point. So when we round up, what do we get? About 17%. So the probability of rolling a 3 on a dice is about 17%. Number 2, we want to find the probability of getting an odd number on our dice. So go ahead and try this one on your own. All right, let's see how you did. So we're going to need a fraction, because that's what we do when we're finding probability. What do I put on the bottom? Right, the total number of possibilities. And what is our total number of possibilities for rolling a dice? 6, because we have 6 sides. Now, what goes on top of our probability fraction? The number of ways our outcome can occur. So the number of ways we can get an odd number. So we're thinking about our dice. We could get 1, 3, or 5. So how many is that? 3. Awesome. Now what's wrong with 3 over 6? It can be simplified. So what can I divide both 3 and 6 by? 3. So on top, 3 divided by 3 gives me what? 1. On bottom, 6 divided by 3 gives me what? 2. So 1 over 2. And what is 1 over 2 as a percent? 50%. So our probability of getting an odd number is 50%. All right, our next example. We want to find the probability of rolling a 5 or a 6. So when we have this or, that's going to be kind of like finding the probability of rolling a 5 and the probability of rolling a 6. So that means we're going to kind of add them together. So thinking about our fraction, the bottom is still going to be our total number of possibilities of rolling a dice one time. So what number is that? 6. So now we're thinking about our dice. We're going to roll it one time. How many of those sides could be a 5 or a 6? 2. So 2 is what we're going to put on top. So we're just thinking about rolling the dice one time. What could happen? Now, what's wrong with 2 over 6? It can be simplified. So what can I divide both 2 and 6 by? 2. So on top, 2 divided by 2 gives me what? 1. 6 divided by 2 gives me what? 3. So our probability is 1/3. What is 1/3 as a percent? Should be about 33%. So our probability of rolling a 5 or a 6 is 33%. All right, our next example. We have a spinner with 2 yellow, 3 red, 4 green, and 2 blue. So we're thinking we have a spinner and it has all of these different colors on it. So if we're spinning one time, what is our probability of getting red? So first we need to add up all of our different possibilities so that we can find the total. So we have 2 plus 3 is how many? 5. 5 plus 4 is how many? 9. 9 plus 2 is how many? 11. So our total is 11. All right, so now back to finding the probability of spinning a red. So we're going to have our fraction. Now what goes on bottom? Our total number of possibilities, which is how many? 11. All right, so now what goes on top? The number of ways our outcome can occur. So the number of ways we can spin red. So how many options do we have for red on our spinner? 3. So 3 goes on top. Can 3 over 11 be simplified? No. All right, now in your calculator, plug in 3 divided by 11 and tell me what the percent is. So what'd you guys get? I got about 27%. So our probability of spinning red is about 27%. All right, number 2, finding the probability of not getting green. So this one's going to be a little bit trickier, but not that bad. So we're still going to have our fraction. What's going to go on bottom? Our total number of possibilities, which is how many? 11. All right, so now we need to go up and count up how many on our spinner are not green. So yellow, that's not green, 2. Red, that's not green, add 3. So we have 2 and 3, that's 5. Green, oh, we don't want those. Blue, 2 more. So we should have 7 that are not green. So that's going to go on top because that is our number of outcomes that can occur that are not green. So can 7 over 11 be simplified? No. So go ahead and find 7 over 11 as a percent. What'd you get? 64%. So our probability of not getting green is 64%. All right, our last example. Finding the probability of not getting yellow or blue. So we don't want yellow and we don't want blue. So go ahead and try this one on your own. All right, let's see how you did. So first, I need a fraction. And what number am I going to put on bottom? 11. And what does 11 represent? Our total number of possibilities. All right, so now, what does the top represent? The number of ways we can spin not yellow or blue. So what number did you guys get there? Let's see, not yellow, not blue. So that means we can have red or green. 3 plus 4 should give us 7. So what is 7 over 11 as a percent? Well, we just did that in the last example, so it should be 64%. All right, so when we're finding probability of simple events, we just have to remember that on top is our number of ways the outcome can occur, and the bottom is the number of total possibilities. Nice job today, mathematicians.